welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. So we're getting into now week 2 of Euro 2020, which is actually in 2021, but we're still calling it Euro 2020. Group stages are done. It's Thursday today as we're recording, and it's not even 2 weeks since the first match. I find it a bit crazy how we've got all of the group matches done, like basically in 12 days, I think it was. It makes me a bit sad, really, because I know the knockout stages still got to come, but there's gaps in between the knockout stages. The group stages is a good part, in it, where it's like football every day, especially the first 2 game weeks where it was like, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock kickoffs. Yeah. The last week where there was like the 2 matches on at the same time, I feel like you're missing out a little bit because you can't watch them both in detail. They're not the same. Just that period where it's like constant football is like, that's the dream in it, that first week. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's always like this, but it feels like it's gone.
I was going to say, it definitely feels like it needed to be longer. Because I know, like, when the World Cup and stuff is on, it seems like it goes on for a while. When
is there more groups in the World Cup? 2 more groups, I think.
Yeah, they don't do like the third place
because
finished.
That's why they've done the third place thing, innit? Which I think you wanted to touch on before we get into the results.
Yeah, I don't like it. I know, like, maybe for teams like us, like Wales, that it gives... it's 2 ways you can look at it, really. Like, it gives teams like, Wales and other teams that may not qualify in the top 2, it gives them a chance to get right through to the knockout stages, which is good.
Well, you say that, but we went through.
Yeah, we went through anyway, in all fairness, but I don't know, it's just...
I'd rather them have... achievement, though. Like, if we had got through a second, that would be a bigger achievement. We could have finished third and still got through, but it kind of takes away from the fact that... Do you get what I'm saying? Because you don't know how much teams are like just accepting third place as well.
Well, I think they are, because we're seeing like we did have a couple of good games, but you're also just seeing some really poor games as well, where you really only need to win 1 game to be in a chance of getting through. And normally, I don't know, probably something you can look at in the stats. So many draws. I don't remember being loads of draws in like
it's really the
Euros
last 2 in it.
World
So
Cups.
I think the highlight, the point that just sums this up the most, and what I would say is a massive argument for it being not the way forward for me, the fact that Portugal won the last tournament, having drawn all 3 of their group games.
Yeah.
Like, they've gone through with 3 points, 3 draws. I don't know. I guess they finished third. I didn't check.
I think they did.
I just find that crazy, and then they've gone and won the tournament. Fair enough if they won in the knockout stages, but you can kind of not turn up in the first 3 matches, just get through, and then still win the tournament. Whereas, like, it should be the case of if you don't turn up in the first 3 matches, you could have already mucked it up. Like, you're done. You finished.
Yeah.
And I think that is where you see a little bit, especially the last like games, that you see a little bit more like, right, we've got to go for it now, and you see better stuff after it because of that.
Yeah, I really don't like it. Like, I think only 8 teams go out to the group stages.
Yeah, there's not enough jeopardy. I think the solution is, for me, just add the extra groups in to make it, like, if you want to add that extra round in the knockout stages, what is it, 16, round of 16?
Round of 16.
So it used to be, in the old format, that wouldn't have been there, would it? Because it would have been like the 4 groups and then just quarterfinals. So the round of 16, just if you want that in there, add the extra 2 groups in so that they get the top 2 from each of them goes through. I mean,
and you'll see more teams in it as well then, wouldn't you? Like, we say, like, it's a chance for lower teams to get to a knockout round, but it's a chance then for more teams to get in and have 3 games in the tournament.
So the reason they increased the tournament was kind of that in the first place, and that's obviously how we've ended up getting into 2 in a row, let's be honest. Maybe we would have, I can't remember. It changes things. You can't just say, like, based on where the table's finished in the end. It changes the whole situation. So, like, we got in after the format changed, and it probably did help us. If there would have just been another 8 teams that benefited, I'm not sure how many qualification groups there are. There's probably about 8, is there? Something like that, around that number.
Yeah.
And they got like 7 teams in them, some more than others.
Yeah.
So you'd basically every group's just having an extra team that goes through, you're still getting like half of the qualification teams going out.
Yeah.
But you will see like some of the smaller teams get in, which is, that's fine. But then some of the smaller teams here have done well. And you might have more upsets, and one of them will get through to the next round, and then that's a good result. And I think that would be a better format than this, like, third place can go through.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it because, like I said, we probably have better games because you've got, like you said, you've got to win, you've got to finish top two to get through, so you would see better games. I just think as soon as a team wins a game, so say a team wins their first game, the second match day, like the second round of games, like you can sort of see like it tailed off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the England draw with Scotland and some of those games around that time. If you've won your first game, you're basically through. And then you just sort of dip. So I know, like yesterday was class. The Group F, those two games at the end were brilliant. But
let's have a look at this in a bit of detail for the groups, right? So in Group A, you've got Italy went through with 9 points, 3 wins, and then you've got 4 points, 4 points, 0 points. So how much would that have changed the last game if Switzerland were now going out on goal difference?
Yeah,
they would have been throwing everything at Turkey. And I know they did alright against them anyway, but they still needed more. So they would have been like throwing everything at them. I don't think it would have necessarily changed too much in the Wales game, except maybe we would have been, before the red card, maybe trying to get a goal back. Because just in case, we got a 1-0 loss in the end. I mean, it's weird being happy with that, isn't it? When realistically, like... Yeah. We just knew that we would have still finished third and likely gone through. That's the thing.
Yeah, we'll come on to that, but I think like his team selection reflected that as well. It was kind of like, we're probably through, so we could probably just not.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Belgium then in Group B, another 9-point team, 3 wins. The other 3 teams all had 1 win each, so they went through. They all had 3 points. So like, again, imagine. Did Finland get through? Finland did get through in the end, didn't they? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
At one point they were going through, but okay, that didn't change too much. But again, imagine like that. Well, Finland didn't go through in the end, but they still had the chance. Group B was played early on, so I think when they finished their game, they were in the slot. But it could have just changed the way the games were played. Group C, another 9-point team. Austria was 6. Again, that's probably the fairest one where it's like, okay, clearly the top 2 going through. Just trying to see. What was the other one? The Group of Death was quite interesting last night, wasn't it?
That was brilliant. That was.
Changing every couple of minutes.
That was class.
But again, the best, it's not a Group of Death anymore, is it? They're saying Group of Death. They called it the Group of Death. But all 3 teams went through.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You always have a Group of Death in a tournament, and one of them has to go out.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. You usually see then like proper knockout football in the early stages.
Yeah.
Because one of them has to go out, but realistically, everybody sort of tipped them like all to go through, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's probably where it shows the most that it's not a Group of Death. Yeah, you got some big games that you're watching, but where's the repercussion there? There isn't, is that? Anyway, I think we ended the last video. Well, not ended it, but we were currently watching Denmark against Belgium when we were recording. And at the time, it was 0-0. And we were quite confident Belgium were going to win the game. But they did go behind Denmark. I think just as soon as we finished, or right at the end of the video or something. But yeah, Belgium pulled it back and won that 2-1. However, Denmark did end up going through. Because we've got them in the next round, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to maybe recap then on every group on how the last couple of games. We start with Wales. Wales had Italy in their last game. So do you want to touch on the team selection first? Is that what you were just getting at?
Yeah, not say any sort of like accepted it, but I think it's like changing the whole defence to play against Italy. That was a bit strange for me, like playing Ampadu at the back and
it was just
bringing Chris
Roberts that stayed, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was a bit of a strange. That said to me that they'd already sort of said, like, 4 points is enough. We can make changes. Whereas if we needed something in that game, I don't think he would have made that change.
It
Those
was the yellow
changes.
cards, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I understand it in that sense, but I understand why he did it. But I mean, in terms of like the tournament and the games we want, you can't do that if
I have a couple
you've
of
got the
question
third
marks
position.
over his selection, though. I don't think he should be changing the formation in a tournament. I don't
No,
care
I
who you're
agree.
playing against. Like, look, the way that he's changed to this defensive approach and formation for me, it was like you're accepting Italy's a better team, which we all know they are. But if you started the tournament a certain way, then play Italy that way. You're not going to go. Everyone's here to win. I know you're less likely to win if you're a smaller team, but you're in a knockout tournament, so don't just like accept that you're going to get battered and then hope for something on the break. I just didn't sit right with me. I just didn't like it at all.
You know what you're describing, don't you?
Yeah.
What Cooper did in the playoff final.
No, I agree. I think he got it wrong when he changed the formation in the playoff final.
Yeah.
But again, it shows it's another example of it not working.
Yeah.
Like, and look, a 1-0 loss to Italy is a good result, and I would have taken it before kick-off, but probably should have been more.
Oh, it definitely should have been more. They made like 8 changes as well, in all fairness.
Yeah, and it still battered us. But yeah, regardless, whatever. One of the other things is if you're going to bring Chris Gunter in, which I don't. He's in League One now. He's had a good career for Wales and he's been a good servant, but he's not a centre back. He's a flipping right back. You've got a centre back in Ben Cabango who's not even getting on the bench, and he's playing in a higher league. I just don't understand that at all. Like, yeah, okay, bringing in the experience, but why have you brought Ben Cabango on the tour then if you can't even put him on the bench, and you've got Metham on the bench who you dropped because he's on a yellow card?
Yeah, I agree. I really don't understand what's going on with Cabango. Like, I love Chris Gunter. He's been a great servant for Wales, but I think that's a sentimental sort of selection, isn't it?
Yeah, but if he's dropping Connor Roberts and you're putting him there, but he's putting him centre back.
Yeah, I know. Didn't he play Ampadu centre back as well?
Yeah.
You're telling me Ampadu and Gunter are better than Cabango as a centre back?
Ampadu, I think, is a centre defensive midfielder, and that's his best position.
Yeah, that's his position. So you're playing him out of position and Gunter out of position.
Yeah,
instead
I also
of
notice
playing.
You've got Tom Lockyer on the bench as well. Why can't he start?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, Ampadu. If you're going to start Ampadu, it needs to be over Morel for me, because I don't really think Morel's good enough either. I don't want to. I'm not criticising players, but I just don't feel like he's our best centre midfielder to get there. We're not necessarily like. Ampadu's playing in the Prem and he's in that role. You're picking someone who can't even start for Luton Town. I just don't get it.
He was good against Turkey though. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, he was decent against Turkey, but you're playing Italy now. So if you're going to make that change and change the centre mid, they probably ran more as well. And like, you've got other players that can slot into centre defence and play there naturally, and then you can put Ampadu in a better position that suits him more as well. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say Morel's had an awful tournament, but I don't know what he's done that meant he couldn't be rested in this game for him to be like a must start.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't disagree with that. But I will say, in all fairness, like, we've been spoilt really that they've gone through again, because we probably don't have a right to go through with the squad that we do have compared to like the other teams in the tournament. So hats off to them for getting there. But yeah, I agree with you about our team selection. That makes sense to me. The Cabango mystery goes on.
Yeah, I don't get about the Cabango thing. But let's be totally honest. We've gone through because we've got Bale and Ramsey. If they are not in the team, we haven't gone through.
Yeah.
And I don't even think directly from them either, but I think they make everyone else play better because of the quality that they are. Like, you're on a pitch with Gareth Bale, do you know what I mean? You're playing in the Championship, but you're on a pitch with Gareth Bale. He's won like 4 Champions Leagues. That's got to make you want to play better. Which is fine, and you're using that to your advantage, and you've got to, that's fine. But I'm just being honest.
I think we know the quality that they bring. Like, we probably wouldn't be where we are without them, but there's so many countries that have got the same thing, haven't they? Like, you've got like Lewandowski for Poland, CMS, they scored 2 goals. He's sort of they've obviously got a better sort of pool of players behind him, but you'll always have that one player that will drag, will raise the game of everyone else. So I think use it while we've got it. But no, I agree with you. If they're not there, we struggle big time. even though Bale should have definitely scored.
Well, yeah, he should have scored a penalty.
Yeah.
Against Turkey, and he should have scored that volley, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
it's easy to say should have scored. It's just because it's Bale and he's quality, and over the years he's been quality, and you just expect that to nestle in the top corner, didn't you? But I guess it was quite a hard chance, really. I don't think I would have been able to bury that. I probably would have skied it higher.
Oh yeah, it was a hard chance. I just think, like you said, for him, I think he's probably expecting him to do better there.
I can't believe he fell to him in so much space, But yeah.
I know, from a set piece as well, yeah. No,
but yeah, look, take all the negatives away. There is some questions, I think, worry me going into playing someone like Denmark, who are a good team, but I think are more beatable than Italy. But a 1-0 loss to Italy is fantastic for us, really, especially after getting a man sent off. Let's talk about that red card. For me, it's never a red card. The refs had a howler and VAR has had a howler.
I don't get it, because they had one the night before, didn't they?
Spain,
I think it was the Spain-Poland game. Lewandowski stood on his foot, and then it was a penalty.
Which it was a penalty, I think.
I don't know. I think it is by the law, but it's getting on my nerves. Like, you can't stand on someone's foot anymore. It's like, that's just like a football injury. The amount of times when you play football, even if it's like five-a-side or anything, and someone stands on your foot when you're just like going for a ball, like, how can that be a foul every time?
No, I agree with you, but like when he's kicked the ball, you've gone in late and you've caught his foot and you've studs on his ankle, then that's got to be a foul. It's got to be a foul.
Yeah,
if it's in the box,
Lewandowski one was.
If it's in the box or it's out of the box, it doesn't matter where. It's got to be a foul. It was in the box. You can't just change it because it was in the box. But then. So I think it's a penalty, but I don't necessarily think it has to be more. Like, it doesn't have to be a card involved. Maybe if it's a couple of challenges, you give him a yellow. But that's a normal, that's an honest challenge that is just wrong. Like, he's got it wrong. But it's an honest challenge. Like, he's gone for the ball, he's a bit late. So I don't necessarily feel like it needs to be booked. And the only reason I'm saying it's pen is because I'm of the opinion a foul. If you're saying it's a foul, it doesn't matter where it is on the pitch. It's got to be a foul. So if it's in the box, it's got to be a penalty. Because I feel like sometimes the referees are more lenient. Like, they'll give a foul if it's in the middle of the pitch. But if that same foul happens in the box, they don't give a penalty. And that does my
head. They definitely do that.
So I want that.
Yeah, they definitely.
The only reason I'm saying this is because I want that consistency. When it comes to Ampadu's challenge, for me, it's literally the same challenge. The only difference is Ampadu has took a heavy touch, give the ball away, gone in to get it, got in late, but the resulting challenge is the same for me. I think it's a foul, and if you want to give him a yellow card, as much as give him a yellow card, whatever, give him a yellow card, that's fine. But it's never a red card. Never in a million years is there a red card. And
no.
There's been a couple of them though. There was one yesterday, in the last lot of games. There was one in the England game against Scotland.
Yeah.
With Raheem Sterling in the box, wasn't it? And they didn't get nothing for that.
I don't know what there.
Lukaku did it in the Belgium game.
Lukaku did it, and that was it. Because I remember everyone sort of pointed out that it was the same as Ampadu's. I don't. Yeah, you just want that consistency. That's what's going on. Because we've picked out about 4 challenges now that are the same, and they all got treated differently.
Yeah, but
so it's just a bit.
I just don't get how one could be a red card and one of them's not even a foul.
I think
the Sterling one. The Sterling one wasn't. It was in the box, and so it wasn't a penalty. This comes back to my point. I think maybe if that's not in the box, he would have given a foul, but he didn't give the penalty. So in that regard, there's no yellow card, there's no foul, but this one's a red. How does that make sense?
Yeah, the ref got it wrong, didn't he?
But they went to VAR as well. That's the problem.
I was going to say about this. I don't know if there's an agenda with the British broadcasters to constantly praise the way UEFA do VAR just to get it into the Premier League. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it just seemed like for the first I don't know, say the first 2 match rounds, everyone was just going every 5 seconds on the commentary. Oh, the refereeing's been brilliant.
Yeah, I did
VAR is brilliant all the time, and I was like, there's been some horrific decisions that they're just not talking about. But I think now the decisions have been so bad in the last game week where it's they can't even praise it anymore. But the first 2 game weeks, they wouldn't stop. Every game, oh, the refs have been brilliant, VAR's been brilliant, they do it so much better, or maybe it's just the refs in England, like sort of getting that in there all the time. And I was actually thinking, no, I've seen some horrific decisions. The Croatia one, did you see the Croatia penalty that was given against them for the Czech Republic?
No.
Where Lovren's gone up to he has caught him in the face, but it's a natural jump.
Yeah,
How do you jump in the air?
You don't jump like a pencil.
Yeah.
You do. You have to. I think you put your arms out because you get more height, don't you? At the end of the day,
And
the momentum of you pushing down in the air.
Yeah, the problem we've got as well is they made him go to the side to look at it on the screen as well. Like he's gone to the side of the pitch to look at it on the screen. And when you watch it in real time, he's just gone up to head it and he's caught him by accident. But if you slow that down, if you slow everything down, it looks worse. The same with the Ampadu one. If you slow it down when it's like, oh, his foot's up there, and then you've slowed it down, his elbows in his face, you're like, oh, it's got to be a penalty or a red card or whatever. But that's not how football works.
Yeah,
you can't just still image everything and be like, oh yeah, look at that, that's a red card.
As much as I say this all the time, as much as the TMO system in rugby is not perfect, I think it works so much better than this.
Oh, 100%.
I don't understand why they couldn't have just done the same thing.
But at what point when they're doing these like still images things for penalties and fouls and that, at what point are we going to get to like cricket when they do like the noise thing where like any contact in the box is a foul? Because that's what they say. Oh yeah, there's definitely contact. There's definitely contact. It's a contact sport.
Yeah.
So whether they need to change the rules around it because it's doing my head in. Because it's like any touch in the box now and they go down, it's like, oh well, there's contact. It could be a penalty.
Yeah, that's definitely a wider discussion.
You know what I mean, in the cricket where the ball goes past the bat, doesn't it? You have the noisometer to see if it's touched the bat. It'll be like that, just to see if there's been a touch in the box.
That's next level. Like it's a bit too far at that point.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything standing out from the games then that we've missed. So moving on swiftly from the Wales game. Oh, final thoughts then. We didn't really say. I think the Italy goal as well. Maybe we could have defended that a bit better.
Yeah, it's a bit soft, wasn't it?
But they probably deserved to score regardless in a different... They had a lot of chances. Like the goal, it was good on their part. It was quick thinking. I think, what's his name? Plays for PSG, the midfielder.
Verratti.
Verratti had a very good game coming back from injury, didn't he? Ran the show really in midfield. But yeah, quick thinking on his part.
I was going to say, thinking about it though, we were saying about like the third place thing again. Sorry, circling back to that. If that's not in, if we're in top two going through, like Italy probably need to push on in that game, don't they, to make sure that they win the group. So if
well, they would have been
which they needed to anyway.
After being 1-0 up, they would have been on 9, wouldn't they? But obviously, if we had scored, they would have gone down to 7. So they wouldn't have been able to not win the group.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because we were on 4, weren't we? Yeah. But you know what I mean in that situation. If there's like, it could affect the team that's already qualified, but they need to win. So it wouldn't have affected us, but it could happen that way round as well.
Yeah. Other key areas in this match in game week 2 then. Netherlands beat Austria 2-0. I think that was a good result for the Netherlands. Austria not turning up again. Sweden being probably the dark horses so far, I would say. They won their group. They won against Slovakia 1-0.
That last day yesterday as well. That was the 5 o'clock games, wasn't it? The Spain group, and
there's so many goals.
Class.
That was the one day that I didn't bet on anything.
It was like 3-2 and 5-0, and then it was 2-2 and 2-2 twice, wasn't it? In the other.
Yeah, my betting has not been great in this tournament, to be honest. Bet builders, but it seems like when I bet on the 2 other Spain games when they were 0-0. And we'll come to the Spain game in a minute, but I didn't put a bet builder on this one, and it seems like everyone on the dog had a shot on target.
No, I know I can't touch you with betting at the moment. Nowhere near it.
Yeah, so Sweden looking like a dark horse potentially. We'll see what they can do in the later stages. Croatia drew with the Czech Republic. England drew with Scotland.
Yeah.
What do you say about Croatia?
No. I was thinking that's the second sort of round of games, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll just briefly running over them. That's all. Hungary 1-1 with France. I think that was a bit of a shock result. Well done to Hungary on that one. as much as it didn't mean anything ultimately, but it's a memory for them to take home.
Hungary did
Portugal,
well in the group of death.
I think one of the games of the tournament, Portugal 2, Germany 4.
That was such a good game. That was absolutely class.
Yeah.
Just goals. Just they wouldn't stop
Germany
scoring.
just decided to turn up on that day.
Yeah.
And then, Spain, Poland, controversial or not controversial penalty in that game that we discussed earlier. I think Poland did well to bring themselves back into that, though. I thought they looked a bit... I thought they were going to be done after they went 1-0 down.
Yeah, they did do well.
Into game week 3, then obviously we discussed Italy 1, Wales 0. A really good result in the end, as much as we discussed some of the issues or concerns that we have. Switzerland 3, Turkey 1. So they did go for it a bit, but they needed more to get second, and that's what we were on about earlier. Obviously,
like all screamers in that game as well.
Shaqiri scored one, didn't he?
Yeah, the Turkey goal was a screamer as well.
Didn't centre back score one?
I can't remember.
Oh no, sorry, that was Austria. That was Christiansen for Austria. My mistake there. That was a good goal though. Was it Austria?
No, it was Denmark, innit, Christiansen?
Denmark, sorry. Sorry, my mistake. They're all red teams. That's what I'm getting confused. But whatever, it was a cracking goal. Like, he just smashed it from the edge of the box. Speaking of Denmark, they won. They actually got it together in terms of their threat, and a win against Russia 4-1. That's not the form of a team that we want to be going into the next round against. And they're going to have that, they're going to want to do it for Ericsson, and they're going to have that in the back of their mind and want to do something good for him, and so they should. But it's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be a hard game.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know. I can't call it really, because you know what Wales are like. They do defy the odds most of the time, but I think it's I think it might be a step too far for us. I think Denmark are looking good. If I had to put money on it. Yeah.
I've got a Dutch friend who still thinks the Netherlands are looking awful, but they've scored 11 goals. They are. I'm reading the wrong thing here. They scored quite a few goals in the tournament. They won against Macedonia 3-0. They scored 3 against Ukraine, and was it 2 in the other one? So that's 8 goals they've scored.
Yeah.
As much as
I know.
The commentary was on the TV saying they're not a fan of the manager, don't like the way he's playing. He's changed the system coming into the game, the tournament even, and they're just not a fan of it in Holland. I think they're all the Netherlands are set on playing 4-3-3 and they love it. And he's playing 5 at the back, but he seems to be they've won all their games so far. You can't really ask for more.
I know. I think on paper it looks good, but they were lucky against Ukraine. They scored late, and they were 2-0 up, and then they come back to 2-2, and they scored late.
Yeah.
And against Macedonia, they probably scored against the run of play. Macedonia had loads of chances.
Yeah,
but in a tournament football, in tournament football, you build momentum, don't you? So maybe they haven't played that well, but they've found that they've got goals in them, and they could pick up momentum and just keep going now. So yeah, we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, I thought Ukraine were going to beat Austria, but didn't matter in the end because both those went through. Austria winning that one 1-0.
Yeah.
Ukraine are a team that went through with 3 points, so unlucky to Finland, they missed out on 1 goal difference. Finishing third with 3 points and missing out on 1 goal difference, you just shouldn't have the opportunity, should you?
What was the score against Belgium? Was it 1-0?
Who now?
With Finland.
2.
2-0. That's what did them then.
Yeah. Unlucky Finland. A couple more then. So England got a 1-0 win against Czech Republic. I don't think... They're all buzzing now, aren't they? Because of the sides of the group they've got. They're like, oh yeah, we're in the right side. We'll look at that at the end now. But we're in the right side of the draw. Kind of a little bit like their World Cup, where they had the easiest run to the semi-final. If it had stayed at one point last night in the group of death, where they were playing Hungary, I would have been like, is this fixed? Because they haven't looked good at all either. They scored 2 goals and they've won the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go on to the side of the draw now, but like that World Cup was ridiculous, and they still celebrate it now. The fact that they got to the semis was the easiest run I've ever seen in my life, and still lost, still didn't get to the final. And yeah, I know they've got Germany now, which is the hard game. But I think whoever wins that out of England, Germany, get to the final.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
They will, because they'll play the winner of Sweden and Ukraine.
Yeah, they'll have us then potentially if we get there.
Yeah, and it'll be Holland on it, I think, because if Wales beat Denmark, they'll have Holland in the next round, and then it'd be probably England, Holland, or
Yeah, but
England,
like
Wales.
England have scored 2 goals. They played Scotland, Czech Republic, and they scored 2 goals.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's just like easing into a tournament, but then it's dangerous because when you're playing someone like Germany now, the games that they've had, they're like match ready, they're big match ready.
I think, like with England, they're all going to get hyped up again. I'm not saying they've got the players capable to win the tournament. That's one point for them, right? The second point is they're basically playing at home all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the later stages of the tournament are at home. If they don't win this tournament, you're never going to have another better chance. Unless you host
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Well, they basically are hosting, aren't they? Like you said, all their games are home.
Yeah, but like it's like the biggest bottle job ever if they don't win it. Or at least get to the final, I think. I'm not saying Germany's an easy game, but in terms of how things have aligned for them, they had a good... In terms of qualifying, because you'd expect them to get top 2 in their group, I would say they had an easy group. They've now got an easy side of the draw, and they're basically at home. And they like to tell us that they've got generational talent, especially up front. So let's see then. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think they can win it. I've not been convinced with them yet, but I still think they can win it. Unfortunately,
what I will say is they looked very much better with Saka on the pitch.
Yeah. I don't think he knows his team, does he either? He's played like 3 different teams basically.
I would stick with Grealish in the middle as well, especially now Mount is isolating.
You got to play Grealish. He's class.
I don't understand. He did look good in the first half.
Yeah. He was good.
But I think part of their problem is, and with the first 2 team selections, you've got Mount and Foden. I know they've started Sterling then. Mount, Foden, and then Grealish is on the bench. For me, for England, they all need to be in the middle.
Yeah.
I think Foden works on the wing for Man City because Man City are always against a team who's camped in their own half. So you don't need necessarily a winger with pace for Man City because you've got nowhere to run. You just be an intricate, like passing and nifty on the ball, like skillful. And that works for Foden and Man City, and he can just go wherever he wants anyway. But for England on the left, the way they've been playing and the way that some of the games have gone, you probably need a bit of pace. That's why Saka, when he was in the team, looked quite good. That's probably why as well Sterling has played better in the tournament than he's played all season for Man City.
Yeah.
Because he's actually doing more of a winger job there than he probably does at City for the reasons I just said.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Foden on the left and then Mount in the middle is going to get the best out of those 2 players. I just think it's 3 centre attacking midfielders that you're trying to, like, with Grealish as well. You're trying to fit into one position.
Yeah, I think so. You need someone wide.
Yeah. But that's where all the quality is, because they're like, 3 of them are good.
Yeah, but they're saying about Harry Kane, aren't they? But he's not getting the service.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're not getting it to him. There's nothing really more to say there. I think he had a chance the other night, didn't he? But there's probably one chance.
Yeah.
Although I would have liked to seen Calvert-Lewin get a run out. I think it's that harsh that he can't get on the pitch. But you never go into when you got Harry Kane ahead of you.
No.
I don't want to talk too much about England. It kind of reminds me a bit of Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard and not being able to play in the same team.
Yeah, how do you fit them in, innit?
Yeah, it's kind of a similar situation there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. They've got probably the hardest game for them now is against Germany. And then you'd expect them to get to the final, although it doesn't mean the others are going to be pushovers. Holland, I still think Holland might be dark horses. We didn't touch on the group of death last night then. Sorry, Croatia also beat Scotland 3-1, so...
Oh my god, did you see Modric's goal?
Yeah, that was quality.
Oh my god.
That's got to be one of the goals of the tournament. Outside of the foot, it was just like it was nothing.
That was stunning. That was just such a good
running
goal.
Out like, do you know what? I'm going to hit this with the other foot. It's like, okay.
Oh, that was just one of them where you just have that like reaction. You know, like you're just watching football sometimes, someone scores, you're like, oh yeah, he scored. It was one of them where you have that like, oh my god, what a goal. It just hits you.
What was you like?
No, not again.
The last round then, Wednesday, so Spain decided to finally turn up after having 2 0-0s. They put 5 past Slovakia and sent Slovakia home because they probably would have qualified in 3rd place had they not conceded 5 goals.
Yeah, usually the defendant. The goalkeeper made a mistake for the first 2, so that set them off. I'd wonder how Spain would have if like it got to sort of like half time, 50 minutes at 0-0. But they were 2-0 up from 2 gifts, so it was game over then. And then they obviously Slovakia had to draw out a bit then.
Yeah, they needed that though, didn't they? Spain needed it. I think
they did. Yeah.
They desperately needed it. It was nice to see Traore get on the pitch. I don't know why it's taken this long.
Who have they got in the next round? I don't see Spain going that far. No, I'm being impressed with them.
They got Croatia. They're in a tough side of the group.
That's a hard one. That's a banana skin, that one. Yeah, that side of the draw is horrible.
Yeah, I think it's Croatia.
Yeah, I think you're right.
My flag knowledge should be good. I might agree. Yeah, that side of the draw is disgusting. To be honest,
Belgium, Portugal, isn't
it? Yeah. Yeah. So Sweden won against Poland 3-2. That's an interesting game there. Poland, I feel like they might feel a bit outdone by. They probably needed to win their first game. Well, they did need to win their first game, really. Yeah. Draw against Spain is a good result, and you've got to look at your defence. If you're going to score 2 goals in a game and not win it in international football, Sweden as well. Like, credit to them, that's a good result for Sweden. But you probably wouldn't have said they would have won that game 3-2.
They look good. That guy up front for them is class.
He looks quality. I feel like he needs to be in the Prem next year.
He's kind of like the standout at the moment. There's always a player in a tournament, isn't there? That's sort of like a relatively unknown that stands out.
Reminds me of that James Rodriguez in.
There's always one in a tournament, isn't there? Yeah, and he's the one. He's looked class.
Yeah. And then the final 2-2. Germany 2, Hungary 2. Hungary looked like they were going to get a win for a lot of that game.
Can you imagine Hungary went through? In all fairness, they drew again. They were unlucky in a way against Portugal because they conceded quite late, didn't they?
Yeah, and obviously and then the floodgates opened.
And then they got a draw against France, in all fairness, and they got a draw against Germany. So they had a class tournament, in all fairness.
Can you imagine Germany went out in a group? There would have been riots. He would have been sacked, surely. He's been there for ages.
He's leaving, isn't he, after the tournament?
Oh, well, he would have been...
Or is it after the World Cup? He did announce he's leaving after... maybe after the Euros. Or
Since they won the World Cup, they've been a bit rubbish, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that was his aim, wasn't it? To win that World Cup.
Sometimes you've got to end on a high, haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm sure he's going after the Euros or possibly after the World Cup. But they were slating him after they lost to France. They lost 1-0 to France and they were slating him
France are the world champions. Like, if you lose them 1-0, it's not the worst result in the world. It's the first game in a tournament. Like, you've got a chance to build. Like, if you face them later on, get it right next time.
Yeah.
Portugal 2, France 2. Like, that group is horrendous, man. Germany, Portugal, France in a group. That's crazy. But it would have been so much better if one of them had to go. It's better for the later stages that one of them's still here, but you know what I mean? Like, in terms of that, it would have been so exciting. The way that it was changing as well all night.
That was class.
Because who actually finished third? It was Portugal, was it? So Portugal, who looked like they were going through for much of it, when Germany equalised right at the end of the game, or near the end of the game, that changes it to Portugal are now going out. Does that mean someone gets a message to them on the pitch and they're all of a sudden chucking everything on to try and get a winner against France? You know, it's...
Yeah, maybe the draw was the best result for France and Portugal. Suspiciously, was the best result for both of them to go through.
France would have gone through anyway.
They would
if
have.
they'd lost.
Yeah, they would have. But I mean, like they'd settle for a draw, wouldn't
Yeah, so let's look at the bracket then. So Germany is the one that goes into, you would argue, the easier side out of the three of them. So all that fuss, and they probably got the easier road to the final if they can beat England. Belgium, Portugal is probably my pick of. Oh, Belgium, Portugal, and England, Germany is probably the pick of the bunch for the next round, in terms of the game you want to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's going to be a class one.
Italy,
Sunday night.
Italy, Austria, France, Switzerland, Spain, Croatia, all in the left side, and then we've got Sweden, Ukraine, England, Germany, Holland and Czech Republic, and Wales, Denmark. If we can beat Denmark, like, it's probably the best run we could be hoping for.
Oh yeah, I mean,
better than last time. We had Belgium, didn't we?
It's potentially Denmark and then Holland, isn't it?
But last time we had Northern Ireland and then Belgium and then Portugal.
Yeah.
So you'd argue, well, yeah. I mean, can you imagine, best case scenario, we did get to like the semis, and it was England. Oh my god.
Wales, England.
In Wembley. That's in Wembley as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've announced they're allowed to have like 60,000 fans, isn't it, for the semi and the final?
That's mad. That's mad, because that's going to be retracted straight away as soon as the like actual season kicks off.
Oh yeah.
So what's that like?
I know we don't want
66% capacity. That is. So
Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to go into politics, but they were threatening to move the final to Budapest, wouldn't they? Because they had a full stadium, and then
all
miraculously, we're raising it to 60,000 for the semis and the finals, and ironically, it's like 60,000 capacity in Budapest.
Well, I mean, what can you say? What can we say? Just take advantage and get a ticket if you can get a ticket, guys. Like, enjoy yourself.
Oh, imagine that Wales, England semi in Wembley.
Doesn't mean it's right, but I mean, what's right anymore, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on. Let's not go again to COVID. Looks interesting then. So I'm quite excited. This starts on Saturday. I think by the time this video goes out, it's probably going to be Friday. So it depends when you're watching it. That's the group stages done of Euro 2020. So I'm going to ask you now, Lee, out of what you've seen so far from the group stages, who is your pick for the final?
Well, the final two, or who's going to win it?
Like, who's going to be in the final?
I did the bracket earlier, and I think I had England-Italy final.
You are back in Italy then? All the way.
To be fair, I backed Italy before the start. I know.
You're being consistent. You're sticking with that.
Yeah, I'm sticking with them. I think. Yeah.
I mean, Italy's run to the final could well be beating Austria,
Belgium.
Then you're beating Portugal or Belgium.
Then France.
And then you're probably beating France, Spain, or Croatia. That's hard. That's tough.
It's a horrific run, isn't it? But you've got to do it the hard way, haven't you? You can't be like England and hope you get like Tunisia.
Sometimes, if you do it the hard way, you just set up so much better for the final because.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying about like Germany. They're big match ready, and they played France and Portugal already.
Yeah.
They're big match ready, where England have just been coasting. So I don't know if that'll be a factor in that game. Because England have got to raise it massively from where they've been playing at the moment.
I think I agree with you that the winner is going to come from the left-hand side of the bracket.
Which is Italy's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it hard to call, but I have been saying Italy to win. I have been saying that. But I feel like I want to say something different to you. Even though I put a tenner on a Mobile top goal scorer, that's gone to pot thanks to Ronaldo. I can't see him scoring 5, to be honest, in that run of games.
I brought Immobile in as captain, and he didn't even play.
I had Benzema as captain yesterday.
Nice.
Shame the rest of my team's crap. I'm still like ranked 200 and something in the send him off league.
I'm gone now. I started well in the first week, and then it's gone to pot now.
I'm done. I've already given up.
It's gone.
Okay, I'm gonna say. I think it's France's time. So they're gonna do a bit of a Spain where Spain won the World Cup, they won the Euros. I think France are gonna repeat it. So I'm gonna say France in the final. I'm gonna say it's gonna be France-Germany though.
You're back in Germany to beat England here.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, whoever wins that game, I think gets to the final.
And I think I got my popcorn ready for the media nuclear bomb that's going to explode after that result.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, there's been so much hype about this tournament as well and about this team. If they go out in the first knockout round, it'll just yeah.
Well, they're all. And only because, right, they're all literally sitting there like, oh my God, yeah, we got the easy side of the group again. They're all just all over the internet shouting about it again. They were all shouting about it when they thought they were going to have Hungary for 5 minutes yesterday. And now they're all like, oh, it's going to be payback for the Frank Lampard not goal.
Oh, about 400 years ago. And then they'll start playing. And then we had England, Scotland, didn't we? So we had the Gaza goal from Euro '96, which is like 25 years ago.
So you're going to see that Frank Lampard goal all week now.
We'll see the Frank Lampard goal all week. We'll see 1966 all week. We'll have we'll see the penalties from Euro '96.
While we're on this topic, can I just point out, right? We're not bitter, honestly, but it gets frustrating when you can't watch any single match in the Euros on ITV or BBC without halftime talking about England. Every single match since the Scotland game that I have watched, they've discussed England. First of all, it was why they didn't win against Scotland, and then it was like how they're going to beat Czech Republic. Every single match at halftime. They showed me the game and a bit of punditry on the game for about 3 minutes, and then they spent about the rest of the halftime speaking about England, especially when Rio Ferdinand's there. And then you got like Jurgen Klinsmann. Was it Klinsmann?
Klinsmann was there, yeah.
Basically telling him to shut up. He's like,
it is annoying.
Can you just pipe down, lads? You've got 4 points. You're probably going to qualify. Like, shut up. And
yeah, he did. Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
it was a bit
funny,
embarrassing for them because
that was good.
You meant to be like. What I find annoying about it is we don't say anything about Wales. We hardly say anything about Scotland unless they were playing England. But you're the BBC or you're ITV. England, like, there's 3 home nations in this tournament. You're the TV program for all of those countries, not just England. So like,
yeah, we said it before though. Like,
I know, but it got worse.
It's definitely got worse this tournament. It's definitely been worse this tournament.
It got worse since the last video.
Someone asked me before, they were like, oh, why does everybody want England to lose? And I said, it's because of the coverage, because we have the sort of the English bias coverage, don't we? It's just rammed on your throat all the time. It gets to a point where you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for them to lose, just for this to stop.
Yeah, but then they'll probably still go on about how they lost for a week.
Oh, the worst day of the tournament so far was the day after the England-Scotland game. There was 3 games that day, 2, 5, and 8. And in every game, before, after, and half-time, they talked about the England-Scotland game. On both of them, I was like, oh, I've heard enough about this game now. It really did my head in.
But like, the England fans really want to hear, again, that they didn't win. Like, and why? I'm sure they've all got their own reasons. They've all been kicking off about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Why do they need to hear that anyway? They probably just want to watch the other football, enjoy it. Stop reminding them that they've not won the game that they should have won.
Maybe they don't as well. Maybe they get annoyed about it. But that's the reason why everyone's like, oh, why does everyone want England to lose? It's only because of that. It's because of the coverage, because of the media, because of the way it's thrown down our throats.
We'll have like the day before Wales are playing, they'll touch on it for like maybe 2 minutes in one of the games probably, and that's all you see on that until the day, and then they'll do the pre-match. But then even in the pre-match, they'll find a way to like go to the England camp and see how many Snickers Jack Grealish had for breakfast.
They'll do it Saturday now. Wales knockout game. They'll talk about England Germany guaranteed. They'll show Southgate's. Oh, there's a bet now. Let's have a tally of how many times they're going to talk about Southgate's missed penalty against Germany in '96 because he's manager and it's payback.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
They were speaking about it on the 6 o'clock news earlier.
Oh, there we are. On the news as well, there we are. Great.
It wasn't
Yeah,
even a
brilliant.
football programme, it was the 6 o'clock news because obviously Germany and England was decided last night. So all day today on the sports bit of the news, they've had to like talk about the fact that we're playing Germany, and that was mentioned that it's not Southgate's first. They were talking about knockout stages, doing penalty practice because England are always crap at penalties, and then obviously like Southgate's had history with a bad penalty shootout against Germany, so you won't want a repeat of that.
Yeah, we'll have that about 19 times before the game on Tuesday. No doubt about it. The worst thing that can happen is if England win on pens.
Hoodoo is broken.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, well, let's call it a day here while we're ranting about England. We should chuck that up on TikTok and see how many people hate us for it.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But let us know, as always, in the comments what do you think about the group stages? Who looks like your tournament winner? Who you think's going to get through to the final, and what's that going to look like? How far Wales going to go? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Mentioned in the one we recorded earlier. We've just started a mini-series playing around in the summer while we've got a bit of free time in the off-season. Football Manager Fantasy Draft mode, so check that out. A little bit of different content, but it's all Swansea related, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, leave a like on this video, helps us grow as a channel, and we shall catch you in the next one. So have a good one.
See you soon.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swansea related t-shirts.